So Jasmine told Mama D, you text her saying you'll give her more money if she gives you more.
What? Come on, dog. Like, I don't be around that. I don't even come to your door because you come to the door naked.
What the going on? You stuttering. He want to talk about she come to the door naked. Like, oh, she do? Oh, you just now bringing that up now that something's been brought up? Like, bro, I'm hearing a lot of excuses. I should be hearing the bitches lying. Just keep it up. But at the end of the day, for real, like, what the?
All that nigga got time for. You're still dragging me all this time, got me back in court, wasting money. I'm constantly always giving you extra money. Jasmine is back up on 10 trying to ruin my life. You're single, you don't have a man, and you're miserable.
Nobody expected this story to explode the way it did. For years, Kirk Frost and Rasheeda have been known as one of reality television's most talked about couples. They've survived rumors, scandals, public criticism, and countless relationship challenges. Every time people thought their marriage was finished, they somehow found a way to stay together. But this time felt different. A shocking deal involving Jasmine suddenly became the center of attention, and the details left fans stunned. Social media erupted with opinions. Friends started asking questions. Even longtime supporters of the couple couldn't believe what they were hearing. And when Rasheeda finally found out exactly what was happening, her reaction was something nobody will ever forget. The situation quickly spiraled into one of the most dramatic moments surrounding the Frost family in recent memory. But what really happened between Kirk and Jasmine? And why did Rasheeda feel so betrayed by what she discovered? The truth behind the controversy is even more complicated than most people realize. For anyone who has followed Kirk and Rasheeda over the years, drama is nothing new. Their relationship has been tested publicly more times than most marriages could survive. Cameras have captured arguments, heartbreak, emotional confrontations, and painful moments that many couples would prefer to keep private. Yet despite everything, they continued moving forward. Rasheeda built her reputation as a strong woman who refused to let difficult situations break her. She focused on her family, her businesses, and maintaining stability when chaos seemed to surround her. Kirk, on the other hand, often found himself at the center of controversy. Whether it was rumors, accusations, or questionable decisions, his actions frequently became headlines. Still, few people expected another situation involving Jasmine to bring so much tension back into the spotlight. At first, the rumors seemed unbelievable. People online began discussing claims that Kirk had entered into an arrangement with Jasmine that many viewed as crossing a serious line. The details varied depending on who was telling the story. Some claimed it was simply business, others insisted it was much more personal. The uncertainty only fueled public curiosity. Every new post generated thousands of comments, every discussion created more questions, and the longer the story circulated, the more pressure built around everyone involved. Then things took a dramatic turn.
I had a conversation with Kirk and Rasheeda. Oh boy, okay. She brought up, you know, the defects case with Cannon because he's been tardy a lot. And I'm just like, you haven't been concerned about anything in years. This is my first time hearing from you.
So
actually.
she wants to bring up all the negativity as opposed to taking control and being a real stepmother.
Right. Make that make sense. Kirk did what he did, and it is Kirk's son. However, you decided to stay with this man, and y'all are still married. At the end of the day, y'all have a partnership. So I feel like it's only right for both of y'all to step up and spend some time with our son. And then Kirk was trying to say that I answered the door in my birthday suit.
You don't even want that man no more. You have told me that specifically. That is old news.
Exact.
According to growing reports and conversations online, Kirk had allegedly been encouraging Jasmine in ways that many people found inappropriate. The situation wasn't being viewed as simple professional support anymore. Suddenly, fans began questioning his intentions. What exactly was Kirk trying to accomplish? Why was he willing to invest so much attention into Jasmine? And most importantly, what did Rasheeda think about all of it? for a while, there were no answers. Only speculation, only rumors, only endless debates across social media. But behind closed doors, emotions were building. And that's when everything changed. Imagine waking up and seeing thousands of people discussing your marriage. Imagine opening your phone and finding strangers analyzing every detail of your relationship. That's exactly the situation Rasheeda found herself facing. Friends began calling, family members started asking questions. Even people who barely knew the facts were sharing opinions. The pressure became impossible to ignore. According to those close to the situation, Rasheeda was frustrated by more than just the rumors themselves. She was frustrated by the disrespect she felt. From her perspective, the issue wasn't only about Jasmine. It was about boundaries. It was about loyalty. It was about protecting a family that had already endured years of public scrutiny. The more she thought about it, the more difficult it became to stay silent. But here's the twist. While many people expected an explosive public confrontation, Rasheeda reportedly wanted answers first. She wanted the truth, not gossip, not speculation, not social media narratives, the truth. That decision would lead to one of the most emotional conversations in their relationship. One evening, after another day filled with online discussions and growing criticism, the tension finally reached its breaking point. Kirk arrived home expecting a normal evening. Instead, he walked directly into a storm. Rasheeda had questions, a lot of questions, and she wasn't interested in vague explanations. She wanted specifics. She wanted accountability. Most importantly, she wanted honesty. At first, Kirk reportedly tried to explain the situation as business-related. He argued that opportunities were being created. He insisted that support was being offered. He maintained that his intentions were being misunderstood, but the explanation didn't immediately solve the problem. Because from Rasheeda's point of view, perception matters, actions matter, and public behavior matters, especially when a family name is involved. The conversation quickly became emotional. Years of previous hurt seemed to resurface all at once. Old wounds that had never fully healed suddenly felt fresh again. Every difficult chapter from their past appeared to come rushing back into the room. What nobody expected was how deeply the situation would affect Rasheeda emotionally. People often describe her as strong, confident, unshakable, but strength doesn't mean someone never gets hurt. Behind the confidence was a woman trying to protect her marriage, her family, and her peace of mind. As the discussion continued, emotions intensified. There were moments of frustration, moments of disappointment, moments where silence said more than words ever could. And for Kirk, the reality of the situation began hitting harder than expected. The issue wasn't simply what happened. The issue was how it made his wife feel. That realization changed everything. For the first time, the conversation shifted away from public opinion and toward personal responsibility. Instead of focusing on defending himself, Kirk reportedly began listening, really listening. And what he heard wasn't anger alone, it was pain, it was exhaustion. It was a woman explaining how difficult it had become to constantly defend a relationship that seemed to face challenge after challenge. That moment forced him to see the situation differently, but even then the drama wasn't over. Because while Kirk and Rasheeda were trying to work through their issues privately, the public continued discussing every development. Fans chose sides. Comment sections exploded. Videos analyzing the controversy generated massive attention. Everyone had an opinion. Some believed Kirk had crossed a line. Others believed the situation was being exaggerated. A few argued that only the people directly involved knew the full story, and honestly, that was probably true. Yet the public conversation refused to slow down. Every day seemed to bring a new theory. Every week brought new speculation. The story developed a life of its own. Meanwhile, Rasheeda faced a difficult challenge. She had to balance her private emotions with her public image. That's not easy. Most people can deal with relationship problems privately. They don't have cameras, they don't have headlines, they don't have millions of strangers discussing their lives. Rasheeda did. And despite the pressure, she remained remarkably composed. Instead of responding with chaos, she focused on clarity. Instead of feeding the drama, she focused on her family. That approach earned respect from many fans. People admired her ability to remain calm during an incredibly emotional situation. But make no mistake, The pain was real, the frustration was real, and the disappointment was real. Sometimes the strongest reactions aren't loud, sometimes they're quiet. Sometimes they're expressed through difficult conversations, rather than public outbursts. And that's exactly what made Rasheeda's response so powerful. She didn't need to scream, she didn't need to create a spectacle. Her willingness to confront the issue directly spoke volumes. As the controversy continued making headlines, another reality became clear. The situation had affected more than just Kirk and Rasheeda. Family members felt the pressure, friends became involved, business relationships faced unwanted attention. Even loyal fans felt emotionally invested in the outcome. That's what happens when people have spent years watching a couple's journey. Viewers begin feeling connected to the story. They celebrate victories, they worry during difficult times, and they hope for positive outcomes. In many ways, this controversy reminded everyone how fragile trust can be. Building trust takes years, damaging it can happen in moments, repairing it requires patience, honesty, and effort, lots of effort. For Kirk and Rasheeda, that reality became impossible to ignore. The controversy eventually started fading from headlines, but the emotional impact remained. Conversations continued behind closed doors, healing continued privately, and life moved forward one day at a time. The experience served as a reminder that public figures face the same relationship challenges many ordinary people face. The difference is that their struggles often unfold in front of the world. For Rasheeda, the situation became another test of resilience, another challenge requiring strength, another chapter in a story that has never been simple. And for Kirk, it became a lesson about how decisions can affect far more people than expected. Looking back, what makes this story memorable isn't just the controversy itself, it's the reaction. It's seeing a woman refuse to ignore her feelings. It's watching someone stand up for herself while still fighting for her family. It's witnessing the complicated reality of relationships where love, disappointment, loyalty, and forgiveness can exist at the same time. The headlines focused on the shocking deal, the internet focused on the rumors, but the deeper story was always about something else. It was about trust, it was about respect, and it was about what happens when those things are put to the test. Whether people support Kirk, support Rasheeda, or simply followed the drama from a distance, one thing is clear: this situation left a lasting impression. Because beneath every viral headline is a real family dealing with real emotions, and sometimes the most unforgettable reaction isn't the loudest one. Sometimes it's the moment someone decides they've had enough, demands the truth, and refuses to back down. That's exactly why people are still talking about this story today. And perhaps that's the biggest lesson of all. Relationships aren't defined by perfect moments. They're defined by how people respond when things go wrong. The question is never whether challenges will appear. The question is whether those involved are willing to face them honestly. For Kirk and Rasheeda, that challenge arrived once again, and their response became a story that fans won't soon forget.